All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the third afternoon of Next. Hopefully you all got some good food for lunch and have had some great sessions this morning. We'd like to introduce you to our session on certification today and how to develop a secret sauce of how to do certification and try to get through the process and better understand how you can get certification, the value it provides to you, and be able to help your company and yourself be successful. So as we get started, my name is Carl Franklin. I'm a director in Google Cloud Consulting. I do enterprise architecture for a lot of our customers. I've been involved in the certification program a really long time, and I'm very committed to the program. And this is my co-presenter, Alyssa.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alyssa Groves, and I'm the program lead for Google Cloud Certification-Readiness. So I run a couple different readiness activities for our customers as well as developers at Google. So we want to start off by getting a sense of who's in the room. So I want everybody to stand on up. I know it's after lunch, but we want to kind of get the energy up in here. So everybody stand up real quick. And we're just going to do a quick activity of basically, if you resonate with the statement, sit down and see who's left. So we're going to start off by saying, if you have 8 or more certifications currently, go ahead and take a seat. We've got a couple over here. We've got 2 over here. We have
awesome.
Yes, Google Cloud certifications. All right, yes. Okay, what about 5 or more certifications?
Okay.
No one sitting? No?
A few.
Okay, 2 or more certifications.
All right, a little bit more there. I saw that way.
Okay, so I think it's good to see the folks who are still standing, maybe 1 or no certifications, and this is a good sign because it means you're in the right place. So we definitely want to give you an idea of how to make that secret sauce to get ready to get certified. So you can go ahead and take a seat. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Hopefully it got a little bit of energy flowing to get started for the session. So, you know, an after lunch session, we are always a little bit low energy. So
we have a recipe card here, and I don't know if any of you are from a big family like me, but there are a bunch of people in my family who love to cook. So I'm all about a metaphor and all about food. So it's pretty simple to get certified. We have a couple of easy steps here. And we're going to walk through them step by step. First is knowing your audience. Then you have to do your research, plan your work your plan, and finally seize more growth opportunities. And I'll let Carl talk a little bit about the actual ingredients that go along with that.
Yeah, so with any good recipe, of course, a lot of things come involved with the ingredients and trying to make good ingredients. And that's where you come into this secret sauce with these ingredients already sort of built into you. And we're hoping, you know, you can use dedication and focus, balance and management of time and practice to be able to make a great recipe and be able to develop your own secret sauce with some of our helpful steps.
So as mentioned, key step 1 is knowing your audience. And knowing your audience is really knowing your why. It gives you that inherent sense of motivation to really move forward. If you don't know why you're making the sauce, why would you, right? So as we go into this slide, we have a really interesting stat here. And I want you to think about where you were 5 years ago. Now, if you're like me, you're thinking, that's like 2016, 2015. No, guys, it's 2019. The pandemic has really pushed us forward in time here. So I want you to think about how much your job has changed, how much the world has changed. Maybe you're in the same role. Maybe you're in a different one. Maybe you're a different person altogether. But I want you to think about the fact that you change, and so do industries. And so as we see from this stat, we think in the next 5 years, global jobs are really going to change as we digitally transform in the cloud. Now, with that, there comes a skills gap. And we see that many IT decision makers feel that there's not adequate coverage for the skills that they want or need to be able to really get into the cloud and innovate. And so with that, you think about your why, but you also have to recognize the shared why. Companies need skilled workers, and you want opportunities. And so we have to find that synergy and really make it work for both parties. So Carl, why is this important?
So it's important because in the cloud, we have a lot more agility and flexibility that we used to have than compared to our on-premise systems. We can be literally a click away of developing inefficient solutions, potentially creating security concerns, et cetera. And being able to have the right skills at the right time is required to be able to unlock a lot of that agility. This is why Google Cloud has a variety of journeys for trying to get into the cloud, and a diversity of skills for all of the different roles. So knowing what you're trying to achieve, that why in certification, is important to sort of build your first step and be able to make that certification journey critical to you, whether you're trying to validate your skills, share a common understanding of like what's required for a role, or maybe you're trying to learn a new role, or you're branching out and looking at multiple certifications and having a variety of capabilities. These are all really important for being able to understand how to set objectives for yourself in this development of your secret sauce. So Alyssa, let's talk about what the next steps are for this sauce.
Yeah, so with any great sauce or recipe, you might have to do a little research. For me, I don't cook as often, so I might call my mom and say, hey, what's a substitute for milk? Because if you're like me and you have a tech fridge where it's just a couple frozen vegetables, old expired milk, you need some substitutes sometimes, but also figuring out what can work and how you can make it your own. So we're proud to say that for the 5th year in a row, we have some really high-paying certifications. And we know that this is important alongside your shared why with organizations because, as my dad would always say, WIIFM, what's in it for me? So with PCA, Proud Professional Cloud Architect, and Professional Data Engineer being our #1 and #2 highest paid certifications, we're really excited about that. And we know that this can really bring value to those who are looking to be certified. Now, Carl, what are some additional benefits for certification?
So I think one of the things we all understand about certification is obviously the achievement success there. But I mean, part of what we're trying to provide is a larger set of benefits for you to be able to go through this journey, commit to the time, and be successful. There's a variety of different things that Google offers to try and give you a total sense of sort of belonging and community with being a Google Cloud certified individual. So we have some great badges and certificates. I'll be honest, I love our stickers and our logos and things. As I walk around offices and I see people with jackets and the branded material, it just makes me smile. So that's clearly one of the benefits, which involves some of our merchandising. The digital toolkit is really great for being able to do things like email footers, et cetera, to sort of recognize yourself as a community member. There's also a community that you can engage in to sort of have that conversation and discussion around thoughts and common concerns, common questions to be able to ask other certified individuals. Hopefully all of you that have passed a test have had to do the opportunity to go down to the expo hall and experience some of the things that we try to do to recognize our certified community, like our certification lounge down on the expo floor here at Next. We do this at several different large events around the year, trying to make sure that you, the certified individuals, have a chance to sort of feel that recognition and get a chance to understand that you're in a great community of people that have a commitment to technology and have an interest in sort of elevating your skills. And then lastly, Google Cloud Skills Directory is there for being able to sort of have Google help you sort of get yourself recognized for potential future employers, potentially trying to look for other people to collaborate with, which is really awesome as well. So that is a great second step. Now we're going to jump into our third step.
Nice. So these next 2 steps are going to be kind of funny because they're inverted, but we're going to start with planning your work. So as you're continuing to make your recipe, you're gathering your ingredients, you're starting to put everything on the counter and seeing what you have. You're heating up the stove, making sure that you're doing all the necessary activities before you cook. So here are the 11 certifications that we currently offer. Yes, go ahead and take pictures. You can also check it out on our certification website. But we have 3 tiers of certification. So we have our foundational level certification for our business and tech adjacent audience. I'm proud to say that I'm Cloud Digital Leader certified. We also have our associate level certification. So that's folks who are maybe newer to the cloud, but do have a technical background. And then we have our professional suite of certifications for those who have some tech experience and really want to go into those niche focus areas. Now, this is a really cool graphic. You may also want to take a picture of this. This is also available on our certification website and also available at the certification booth downstairs in the expo hall. But it's a really cool way to walk through which certification is right for me. So I kind of touched on if you don't have maybe necessarily technical skills or extensive skills in that area, you might want to focus on the Cloud Digital Leader certification. Or if you do have those technical skills, it's really about how much experience you have in the cloud and if you have specific focus area experience. And then also when you talk about preparing for the exam, we have access to on-demand learning platforms. There are some free offers for that, no cost offers, my bad, downstairs where you can take advantage of being able to have access to our full course catalog. You also want to use that to be able to earn completion badges and skill badges, which are another great credential on your way to certification. And then finally, thinking about the exam itself. So now I'm going to pass it back to Carl to talk about one of our great courses that will help you prepare for the exam.
Yeah, so thank you, Alyssa. So as Alyssa was mentioning, we're in this planning stage of trying to work on our secret sauce and planning out what we want to do. So part of what you want to try to understand is like, where am I strong? Where do I need development? And that's where these diagnostic questions come in. Being honest with yourself on the places where you want to spend time, or looking at it and trying to understand, you know what, I know this part of the technology, I'm good to go. The exam guides are fantastic for trying to go through these diagnostics of evaluating yourself and understanding where you're going to want to spend your time. Once you've got an idea of where you want to plan out things, you then want to start to locate resources. You want to look at opportunities in Google Cloud's documentation. You want to be able to go over to like Google Cloud Skills Boost and see what opportunities there are in learning paths and experience labs to be able to use these things from the exam guide and get hands-on experience trying to configure these things. I personally find the Google Cloud Skills Boost to be fantastic at helping me on very particular things that I know are going to be on the exam, but maybe I don't have the opportunity to experience these because my corporate account or my personal accounts may not have access to these features. So, and the reason why they might not have access is maybe there's an organization policy that prevents certain things, or maybe my company hasn't enabled certain pieces of the platform at the moment. Google Cloud Skills Boost gives you an environment in which these things are enabled. You don't have to freak out about leaving these things turned on and running up the bill. They're all timed labs and they automatically self-destruct, which is awesome. So you take this, you take the diagnostic questions in the areas you want to focus, and then build yourself a workbook of like, where are the areas that you want to work on? And then that really gets us into our next step, which Alyssa was sort of alluding to, which is work your plan, which Alyssa, can you tell us a little bit more about, now that we have a plan, how do we work that plan?
Yeah, I mean, and I kind of mentioned it's an inverted version of step 3, but now we're actually cooking. So if we want to talk about the actual stats behind preparation, we can look at a study from our own Google Cloud customers. So these are folks who took that course that Carl just talked about. And out of 300 users who took the course, over 50% took 5 weeks or more to prepare for the exam. So I think it's really important to go back to some of those key ingredients that Carl talked about in the beginning: dedication and focus, and really having a time commitment to this. And it also really depends on where you are in your journey. Carl alluded to that as well. If you feel like you're a little more prepared to sit for the exam, use those diagnostic questions to really figure that out and go forward with your plan. If you know that you need a little bit more time to focus, you're not out of the ordinary. As you can see, there are many others who are like you, and it's really important to set that time aside to really prepare and also use resources. So of course, Google Cloud Skills Boost is a great resource with all of the courses needed to prepare for the exam. But feel free to look outside and also use other resources that are available to you to really feel like you are prepared. Now, Carl, tell us a little bit more about how the exam works itself.
So this is something very near and dear to my heart, is sort of not so much the process of going through and registering for the exam per se, but the entire exam experience. You've spent several weeks, maybe in the evenings, maybe on weekends, planning and studying. Maybe you have a family that's been running around in the background. Maybe you have email that's occasionally interrupting you. And you have an environment that's very much your normal environment. The thing I like to advise people on, my biggest sort of contribution to the secret sauce, is understanding the exam environment is going to be a very different experience than your study environment is going to be. If you're taking it in person, you're going to be in a testing facility that asks you to sit at a computer, and there may be other people in the room, but everyone's trying to be quiet. You'll be asked to make sure that you don't have notes on you, or you've taken all of your personal items and put them in a locker so that you're not tempted by the chance to maybe try and cheat. Those things can kind of play in your head. And I've seen people that have been very well prepared to take an exam, but the actual experience, the experiential part of the exam throws them off their game. They come out of the test and they're like, I really wasn't prepared for how that was supposed to happen. So one of the things I encourage people on a lot is to just sort of understand, when you go in, you're going to have a keyboard and a mouse. You're probably not going to have a pad of paper. I think most of the exams now don't allow you to have a scratch pad. That one was actually really hard for me to get used to, because I had a little technique of trying to write down all of the multiple choice questions and then intentionally disqualifying them by putting lines through them. If I don't have a piece of paper and that's how I've prepared to take the exam, it can really throw your game off and really interfere with your ability to pass. So understanding that environment and being prepared for it is super important. You know you're ready, you know you've got the knowledge, and then something throws your game off. Almost like a professional athlete, like not being ready to play at 7 in the morning, or something on the court isn't quite the way that they expected, and all of a sudden they can't perform very well. So this part of the preparation is really near and dear to my heart, and it's something that I wanted to share with everyone to understand. Don't underestimate that 90 minutes to 2 hours that you're in the test center. That can be really critical to just make sure that you're in the right headspace to be successful. So as we start to get through into our near the end of our steps, we want to look now into how do we make our sauce even better. So Alyssa and I have shared several different ideas and thoughts around how to prepare and try to make sure that you're successful. Now we really want to go, how can you turn around and take some of this, like any great sauce, and start to take riffs on it, and how do you make it even better? Mm-hmm. And this is where seizing the opportunities for certification can really give you a chance to grow professionally and in your personal success. So how can you grow beyond certification is certainly kind of like riding a bike. It's okay if you don't ride a bike for a little while, but if you do it more often, you're going to have better feel for it. You're going to be able to do it better. One of the things we encourage you to do is make sure you have the opportunities to use your knowledge. If you're doing that at work, that's fantastic. That's probably a major reason why you looked into certification, is your organization saw the value there. But if you're looking into Google Cloud and you're doing personal projects, continue to have those opportunities to iterate and use your skills on the platform. Try different things out that maybe aren't core to what you're doing, but it keeps that muscle memory so that you have a better understanding of when you want to pivot a solution or you want to try different ideas, you have familiarity with those. The second part of growing beyond certification is being part of the community. As I mentioned earlier, the Google Cloud community is a great place to have that dialogue and have a chance to share feedback, to ask questions, to sort of drive the discussion around the value of certification, the areas that people are challenged with, the things that are sort of gotchas. These are all good things to discuss. But certainly you can also drive that discussion within your own company. If you have a cloud department and you're in it, that's great. You're probably living this. If you're adjacent to your cloud team, then engaging them and having lunch and talking about the things that they're worried about and the things that they're building is another way to sort of take your certification and be able to elevate your game. And then, of course, lastly, as we all know, like using social networks is important. LinkedIn, Facebook, things like that. Like sharing your experiences and the value that you're getting out of developing your skill set gives you a chance to be involved in that community and feel a stronger attachment. And then, of course, one of the other great things of growing beyond certification is this opportunity to be an early adopter on the platform. Cloud is still relatively in its early stages. There's a lot of new developments coming on. The last couple of days, you've heard about a ton of things coming out of our Gen AI and our AI capabilities and all kinds of amazing features Google's developing. All of those things have been coming out over the last several months, maybe even up to a year. You have an opportunity as a certified individual to have a chance to get access to those in a pre-release state and be able to start playing with those things and maybe even providing the product team feedback of what's working and what's not working and how can you help make Google product even better? And I think this is fantastic for you being able to spin this and be able to make the sauce your own. So as I flip over to the last part where I sort of started to get to, Alyssa, how do we take this a little bit farther?
Yeah, so we have a couple of real-time opportunities to take advantage of today to really make your own recipe, add in your own seasoning, put your own spices, however you want to cook it up. So one, I'm really excited to talk about the no-cost Get Certified program that we're offering. Registration officially opens on Monday, April 15th. But we are allowing folks to join the wait list right now. There's a link right here. There's also a QR code available at the Learning and Certification booth downstairs. But it's a really cool opportunity where we offer 10 weeks of a technical mentor supported certification program. So you start with virtual instructor-led training, and once you complete required learning milestones, you advance into a 9-week certification journey program with exam guide review sessions, access to a technical mentor who is certified in your learning path. And then at the end, if you complete everything required, you actually get a no-cost exam voucher. So it's a really exciting opportunity, and we're happy to offer it to our customers. Also, Carl alluded to this a lot about community. So we have our Google Cloud community, which is a really great place for you to be able to talk to others about your experience, ask questions, really gain resources of other folks who are in the Google Cloud with you. So we really want you to take advantage of that opportunity as well. And finally, our Innovators Plus program. Again, in that Innovators Hive area in the Expo Hall, you can learn even more. But this is another opportunity for a really cool subscription to our Google Cloud Skills Boost platform, where you have additional benefits such as access to more technical mentors and also an exam voucher that is free to you. And with that, we also just want you to take advantage of any other special offers that are available during Next. So feel free to scan this QR code and find what works for you. Thank you for coming. And again, please visit us downstairs at the Learning and Certification booth for free offers, no cost offers, and other questions that you may have. Thank you.